We bring you the latest updates from the Pna Newsroom. About 30.9 billion pesos in illegal drugs were seized last year as part of the government's increased anti-narcotics campaign. In its 2022 accomplishment report, the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency or PBBM said it has also carried out over 37,000 operations and apprehended over 53,000 drug traffickers. To reduce the demand for illegal drugs, PBBM conducted preventive education and community involvement activities and established over 100 Balay Silangan Reformation Centers. This results in at least 2,000 graduates and nearly 900 jobs. Likewise, over 300,000 drug-free barangay residents received community-based drug rehabilitation programs, while over 67,000 received intervention services. PBBM said it is looking forward to strengthening its anti-illegal drug strategies while also working to reduce drug demand in the country. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. said a Brazilian company has offered to assist in the sugar industry and ethanol production of the country. This comes following the president's meeting in Malacanang yesterday with officials from the Brazilian firm Datagro, the Department of Agriculture, the Sugar Regulatory Administration, and members of the Private Sector Advisory Council or PSAC. During the meeting, Datagro proposed to start the pilot testing in Negros and Panay Islands with its tech transfer and assisted management project. The Brazilian company also proposed diversifying sugarcane milling operations by converting sugar in molasses to ethanol. Meanwhile, Marcos expressed optimism about increasing sugarcane yield, which is critical to achieving sugar sufficiency in the country. He tasked the DA and PSAC with making recommendations on how to move forward with the projects. He also directed the Agriculture Department to increase stakeholders' consultations and assess its viability. The Philippine government has deported back to Japan two Japanese nationals suspected of involvement in a series of violent robberies. In a statement, Bureau of Immigration Commissioner Norma Tansinko said Toshiya Fujita and Kyoto Imamura boarded a Japan Airlines flight around 9 a.m. today. Fujita was apprehended in Mabini, Batangas on February 21, 2021 and was tagged as a senior member of an organized fraud group engaged in a phone scam. Imamura, who faces a warrant of arrest for theft, was arrested a day after Christmas in 2019 at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport. The Japanese government asked the Philippines to deport the two, along with Yuki Watanabe and Tomonobu Kojima. Japanese police suspects Imamura and Watanabe to be the mastermind or masterminds in a series of robberies targeting elderly people in Japan. A forensic expert from the United Nations will launch a program to train government doctors and authorities in the country on forensic pathology. Special Rapporteur Dr. Maurice Tidbal-Binz met with Justice Secretary Crispin Remulla to discuss the capacity-building program. Remulla said the program will provide special courses in forensic pathology for doctors of the government, the police, the National Bureau of Investigation, and the military. He said this is to build the government's capacity to handle situations like untimely deaths. He added Tidbal-Binz is also set to talk to civil society organizations in the country. At the Universal Peer Review of the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva last year, Remulla asked the UN Special Rapporteur to help authorities investigate cases of extrajudicial killings and enforced disappearances in the Philippines. And that's the latest and the biggest stories from the Pna Newsroom. For more news content, visit our webpage or head on to the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. We are also shown on the social media pages of the Presidential Communications Office and Radio Pilipinas RP1. Stay tuned for more news updates. I'm Marita Muaje. We tell stories that inspire change.